Hello everyone, my name is Zach, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well today. Today I'm just going to be doing a quick Boo-A-Thon TBR slash TBW slash TBP. This is a multimedia-thon, so it's like a weird mush of things. Anyway, you guys know I go hard for Boo-A-Thon, and since the other thing I go really hard for, Paper Cup Book Club, has been on hiatus for the last 3 months, I'm feeling especially ready to go super hard on this year's event. This year, Maddie has devised bingo boards, so you're trying to get bingo, and there's a multitude of different challenges you can do. And because I'm extra as fuck, I'm going to be trying to make a Z for Zach. So I'm going to have to do quite a bit of categories, and so diversifying all my kind of multimedia stuff and just trying to make it work. Luckily, my job is only happening on the weekends right now, so I'll have 4 days a week uninterrupted to just try to get through some stuff. So really hoping this turns out. Boo-A-Thon last year was the first readathon I ever finished, the 24-hour event, and so I'm hoping I can pull through again and win a readathon for the 3rd time. So with all that being said, let's talk about all the stuff I'm going to be consuming during these like week and a half, 2 weeks, somewhere in there. I have a degree in math. You think I would have figured out this fraction beforehand, but whatever. So the first category I need is Witch, and there's 2 watch-alongs happening during Boo-A-Thon, and because I'm on the East Coast, I'm worried about not finishing them in time, so the Witch is a possible one for me to do this, but I think the Witch watch-along is happening on Halloween, so just to be safe, I'm going to be substituting another one, just to make sure I finish before midnight on Halloween, and that's going to be The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. This is also the Book Push Book Club pick for October, and it's the Feminist as Fuck Book Club pick for October as well, so I figured I could read this book, hit the category, hit 2 book clubs, so why not? I'm going to be getting the audiobook for this, so hopefully the audiobook's good. Haven't heard anyone complain about it, but then again, unless an audiobook narrator is really bad, I don't think people generally complain about them, so we'll see how it is. The next category I'm going to be doing is Blood, and for Blood, I'm going to be playing a game. It's become a bit of a Boo-A-Thon tradition for me to play a Silent Hill game. I played a little bit of the first game during the first Boo-A-Thon. I played through Silent Hill 2 last year, and this year I'm going to be playing Silent Hill 3, which this is not my favorite. This is definitely my least favorite of the original trilogy. There's some great ideas in here, both narratively and in terms of like horror set pieces. This has some really great ones. But as far as the gameplay and how the story plays out, it's just not my favorite. I haven't played through it since I bought this, like, 2 years ago, somewhere in there. So I'm excited to play through it again and see if it grows on me a little bit. But there is a lot of blood and blood-looking imagery in this game, so definitely fits that theme. So the next category is Ghost, and for this I'm going to be doing one of the Boo-A-Thon watch-alongs, which if I can't get off of work, I guess I'll just be watching on my own time. But that is the original Poltergeist movie. This is on Netflix right now, so I don't have anything to hold up, but I will be watching it. I've never seen it before, so I'm really excited. There's a long backlog of classic horror movies that I've never seen, because most of my exposure to horror like joining BookTube was actually just horror video games. So there's still a lot of horror novels I need to get to, and a lot of horror movies, and so I figured this would be a good one to cross off the list. So hopefully I can do the watch along. If not, I'll just be watching it on my own time. The next category is to do a retelling, and I'm going to be doing something I did last year for Boo-A-Thon, which is to read something by Victor LaValle, and this year it is The Changeling. This is a retelling of a fairy tale that I'm not familiar with, so I have no idea really what to expect, but I loved The Ballad of Black Tom so much last year, and I've been meaning to read this since last year's Boo-A-Thon, so when this one was coming up and I saw it at the library, I was like, well, might as well just grab it and just roll it in. So this will be my one big novel to finish during the readathon. Well, The Year of the Witching is also a novel. What am I talking about? It's the one I'm actually reading, though, not listening to. So the next category is to do something involving a curse. And for this, I'm going to be watching a movie that I have seen before but have not watched in a while. And that is An American Werewolf in London. This is a classic 80s horror movie. I really loved it when I watched it the first time. And there's a line, I walk the earth until the werewolf's curse is lifted. So very much looking forward to this. It's very good. It's very funny. There's a certain character that there's a lot of comedic moments with. So just again, looking forward to watching this again because I think it's great. The next category is to do something involving purple, and for this, I forgot to grab the book off the shelf. I'm going to be reading Junji Ito's Frankenstein. This is my first Junji Ito book, so I'm very excited. As you can see, purple spine. I've heard a lot of good things about Junji Ito, both from our lovely host Maddie and from my friend Kat over at Paperback Dreams. She's really excited to hear what I have to say about Junji Ito, and I believe Maddie has read this and said she liked it. But I'm excited to see what the fuss is about. I've never read horror manga before, so I have not read manga in general since middle school, I think. So that'll be interesting to see if I can remember how to read that way. I think the camera's flipped, so I probably just pointed in the wrong direction, but you get what I'm saying. Alright, the next thing is the free space. After that, we have Poison, and I'm still trying to figure out something for this one, so if you have any ideas, you can actually leave them in the comments below. Worst comes to worst, I can always just watch the movie Clue with Tim Curry, because there is a line, maybe he was poisoned. And if you've never seen Clue before, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you're familiar with the game Clue, you can probably figure it out. The worst comes to worst, there is a line about poison, and it's a movie I love that's sort of spooky Halloween vibes, so if anything, I'll just watch that again. Alright, our next category is cozy. Now, I want you to think, Halloween movie that's cozy. If your first thought was, it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, yes, but I'm not picking that one. No, the correct answer in this case is The Nightmare Before Christmas. I know people like to debate, oh, is it a Christmas movie? Oh, is it a Halloween movie? It is both. I will fight you on this. Unfortunately, I don't have this on DVD. My sister has it on DVD, and she took it with her to Tampa, where she actually lives. But Freeform is showing it the day Boo-A-Thon starts, so I'll just be watching it there and just dealing with commercials like I'm back in the 90s. So, alright, the next category is Gothic, and for that I'm going to be watching a film. I think it's technically a miniseries, but a film adaptation of a book I've read before, and that is Salem's Lot. I picked this up back when I read it for the first time in college, so maybe like 2 years ago then, and as you can see, I raced to get to it, seeing how it's still in the shrink wrap. But I reread this book in February with Kat, and I still haven't watched the movie, so I figured now would be a good time to actually do that. If this disc is defective, I'm really screwed, but hopefully it'll work. I feel like I've heard that series is pretty good, if a little cheesy, which I like cheese, so that's fine by me. Alright, the next category is zombie, which y'all know I stan some zombies, and while you might be thinking I'm going to read something about Newsflash and Mere Grant, no, we're not doing that. I'm doing something slightly different, but not really, because it's a film I've seen many times before, and that is Zombieland. If you've never watched Zombieland, what are you doing? It's a comedy movie about zombies. You know what Zombieland is. I love Zombieland. I'm sure a lot of you love Zombieland. Zombieland's just great. There's no good reason not to watch Zombieland again. So, we're going to watch Zombieland again. Alright, the next category is Midnight, which is another one I actually struggled with quite a bit. And then I realized I could just read or listen to a reading of The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, because it's literally like in the first line, Once Upon a Midnight Dreary. So yeah, I guess I'm just going to read that. I might listen to the reading done by Vincent Price, which I've heard a while ago, just because, you know, Vincent Price is a national treasure and I love his voice, so might do that. And speaking of Edgar Allan Poe, the last category is to read some short stories. So I think I'm just going to read some of his short stories, which I've never actually read. I read his book of poetry and enjoyed some of his later poems, but I wasn't the biggest fan. I'm kind of picky when it comes to poetry, so like it's not surprising. But there are some famous short stories of his that I want to read that I've never read before. Fall of the House of Usher, Mask of the Red Death, Red Death, The Pit and the Pendulum. I have read The Telltale Heart, The Black Cat, and The Murders in Rue Morgue. So those are just some short stories that are fairly famous, especially for Edgar Allan Poe. So I might read those, and if I have a little bit of extra time, maybe I'll read some more. We'll see how it goes. Yes, that is my Boo-A-Thon TBR. We're just going to leave it at TBR because it was a disaster when I tried to do that joke the first time. Let me know if you're participating, what you are going to be consuming, the movies you're going to be watching, the books you're going to be reading, or make your own TBR video. I know Maddie would love that, and if you let me know, I will watch it too. But yeah, I'm very excited. I always love this event. It's just, Multimedia-thons work really well for me because I'm kind of a slow reader. I kind of get to read in bursts, so being able to watch movies and mix in books and audiobooks, it's just my thing, and I'm here for it, but you already knew that. So if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe if you feel so inclined. And I will see all you Boo-A-Thoners during the Readathon.